Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, once the ultimate golden boy of entertainment. That megawatt smile, the sculpted body, and of course, his legendary line, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" He wasn't just a star, he was untouchable, the very definition of grit, charisma, and power. From WWE arenas to the glitzy streets of Hollywood, he looked like the man who would never stumble. But guess what? That shine is cracking badly. Let's face it, the man who once made millions cheer is now losing fans by the millions. And it's not just whispers, it's loud. From a WrestleMania promo turning into the most hated in WWE history, to awkward podcast appearances, to a tone-deaf fundraiser that made even his die-hard fans cringe, The Rock's perfect image has flipped into something of a burden. The numbers don't lie. Over just 5 months, The Rock lost 5 million Instagram followers. Imagine that. 5 million people deciding, nope, we're done here. So the burning question is, how did the most beloved man in entertainment, a guy who built his career on being for the people, completely fall from grace? Was it arrogance? Lies? Obsession with keeping his crown? Buckle up, because this isn't just a fall, it's a crash landing.
Rock is the fakest celebrity in Hollywood.
I can tell you with a little bit of uncertainty, because I failed math, I was probably at that time ingesting about anywhere between 6 to, well, I would say possibly almost 8,000 calories a day.
I can tell you there is no way The Rock burns off enough calories to average 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day and look like this. If he actually ate those kind of calories, 6,000 to 8,000 a day, he would be 100 pounds overweight. There is no way he eats this much.
The Rock is not natural, okay? The Rock, he's not a patient of mine, so I don't worry about getting sued.
We're going to be talking about what steroid cycle I think of The Rock.
But to understand how Dwayne Johnson went from adored icon to public enemy, we have to rewind the story. See, The Rock wasn't born under the spotlight. He was raised in a wrestling family, yes, but when he first stepped into WWE back in 1996 as Rocky Maivia, fans hated him. They booed, they jeered, and those chants of "Rocky sucks" followed him everywhere. That was his first taste of failure. But failure didn't break him, it reinvented him. Johnson turned himself into The Rock, a cocky, arrogant, sharp-tongued character fans couldn't help but love. That one line, "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," wasn't just a catchphrase, it was a declaration. That reinvention catapulted him into superstardom, adored by millions across the globe. And Hollywood? Oh, that was his next big conquest. Sure, his early films like The Scorpion King, 2002, and The Rundown, 2003, got lukewarm responses. Critics said he was just a wrestler pretending to act. But the game changed in 2011 with Fast 5. As Luke Hobbs, The Rock became a bona fide action powerhouse. Suddenly, he wasn't just a wrestler crossing over, he was the guy. Hard work, discipline, perseverance, his brand screamed inspiration. But here's the twist. The very thing that made him a legend also became his downfall: reinvention. He was always chasing the next thing, molding himself into whatever people wanted. Cocky wrestler, family-friendly action star, motivational social media guru. But when someone keeps shifting to please everyone, eventually the question becomes, are they really being themselves at all? And oh boy, the cracks started showing. It was 2016 when those cracks turned into headlines. The Rock posted a fiery Instagram rant during the filming of The Fate of the Furious, calling out unnamed co-stars as cowardly and unprofessional. He didn't drop names, but everyone knew. He was talking about Vin Diesel. Suddenly, the team player image went up in flames. Fans who saw him as Mr. Charming Mr. Unity couldn't believe it. Rumors swirled that Johnson demanded special contract clauses, never losing fight scenes, more screen time than his co-stars, and complete control. The Rock, the same man who built a career on charisma and humility, was suddenly seen as arrogant, controlling, and fake. Social media lit up with fans calling him a hypocrite. Some defended him, but most, they felt betrayed. And no matter how fast he deleted that post, the damage was done. The perfect guy image was cracked, and fans started noticing every little slip. And then came the moment that turned embarrassment into full-on scandal: the In-N-Out Burger saga. From 2017 to 2023, The Rock went on and on claiming he was visiting In-N-Out Burger for the very first time. Not once, not twice, but 3 separate times in 6 years. Every time he posted enthusiastic photos and videos like it was this life-changing discovery. In 2017, he wrote, "I've never been to In-N-Out." Then in 2022, "This is my first time trying In-N-Out. I've bought them for friends before, but never tried it myself." And by December 2023, yep, he pulled the same stunt again, pretending to not even know how to order or pay. But the internet never forgets. Fans dug up his old posts, receipts and all, proving he had been there multiple times. Popular YouTuber Penguin Zero even made a viral video with over 6 million views, breaking down every staged first-time moment.
The reason why this is history in the making is because this is the very first time that I have ever tried an In-N-Out burger. or In-N-Out fries, or anything from In-N-Out.
One user snarked, "First time?" Or first time he forgot his PR script? And honestly, they weren't wrong. The Rock tried to clean it up by editing his post, suddenly calling it his first time again. But by then, it was too late. Fans realized the ugly truth. Almost everything The Rock did publicly was staged. Not authentic moments, but carefully scripted PR plays to keep his perfect image alive. Think about it. Fans who trusted him bought his Under Armour shoes, his Zoa energy drinks, his tequila, because they thought it was authentic. But now, they saw it for what it was, a walking billboard. And that hurt. And if a burger lie was enough to crack the wall, just wait until we get into his body. Because that's when the whole facade really started to crumble. If the In-N-Out lie made fans roll their eyes, the next scandal made jaws drop, because it wasn't about burgers anymore. It was about his body. At 51 years old, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson still flaunts a physique that looks sculpted by the gods. Every day at 4 a.m., he posts those sweaty, motivational gym clips with hashtags like #HardestWorkerInTheRoom. Millions watched, millions admired, and millions believed. He wasn't just selling workouts. He was selling the dream that with enough sweat and willpower, you too could look like him. But here's where things turned ugly. The cracks in his hardest worker persona started to show. The Rock bragged about eating 6,000 to 8,000 calories a day to maintain his monster build. Fans ate it up, literally thinking he was superhuman. But experts tore that claim apart. Fitness coach Greg Doucette didn't sugarcoat it. No way. If he ate 8,000 calories a day, he'd gain 45 kilos. He's exaggerating. It's impossible. So what's the truth? The truth is, his real diet of cod, rice, and greens barely hit 3,000 calories. That insane number he kept pushing was pure myth-making. Another PR stunt, and if that wasn't enough, Doucette exposed his intense workout videos too. Remember that clip where The Rock grimaced through heavy squats, dripping sweat like he was near collapse? Doucette called it out. That's just 2 plates per side. For him, that's like lifting grocery bags. Bikini competitors squat heavier. So, all that sweat? Just props. The Rock wasn't just working out. He was acting for Instagram.
Notice how hard he seems to be pushing. This is 2 plates on each side. A man of The Rock's stature, size, and strength, I would believe that this would be a cakewalk. Many bikini competitors could lift this much weight. And I'm not trying to strength shame him here, but I believe that you're lying when you say that this kick.
But the biggest question hanging in the air was this: is his body even natural? The Rock has long claimed he tried steroids once at 18 and never again. He laughed off accusations, dismissing them as ridiculous. But look at the evidence. At 50 years old, his body is bigger and leaner than when he was 30. That doesn't happen naturally. Strongmen like Eddie Hall suggested maybe he was on testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. But Joe Rogan didn't mince words. No way. That body doesn't come from TRT. He's on way more than that. And Greg Doucette? He doubled down. He's not natural. He's using everything possible. That physique at 50 is impossible otherwise.
That The Rock would be on TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. A very good thing to do. It's actually very good for you, very healthy for you.
You can't even get there with HRT. That's not HRT.
Not only do I not think he's natural, I don't think he's on HRT. I think he's on the kitchen sink. Whatever he can take,
Really?
I think he's on all of it and then some. You don't get big like that into your 50s compared to your 40s and 30s. Like you see some photos of him in his 30s, he's way.
And just like that, the hard work pays off message, his biggest selling point, started looking like a scam. Millions of young fans who busted their bodies in the gym, who bought his protein powders and believed his every word, suddenly felt cheated. What they saw wasn't a symbol of discipline. It was a carefully hidden cocktail of secrets, lies, and possibly injections. Social media exploded. #RockOnRoids trended. Memes flew everywhere. Hard work or hard injections. People mocked him as a fraud. His silence didn't help either. He kept dodging questions, smiling in interviews, repeating the same mantra, hard work. But the silence? That was deafening. Fans didn't see inspiration anymore. They saw deception, and the hits just kept coming. Because this inauthenticity didn't stop in the gym. It followed him straight to Hollywood. Enter Black Adam. This was supposed to be his crowning jewel, his passion project, his game changer for DC films. Not only did he star in it, but he also produced it, micromanaging every detail. The Rock hyped it up like it was the second coming of superhero cinema. But when the movie dropped in 2022, disaster. With a massive $260 million budget, it needed to rake in at least $600 million to break even. Instead, it pulled in just $393 million worldwide. That's a loss of $50 to $100 million. Brutal. Now, any normal star might have admitted defeat, taken the hit, and moved on. But not The Rock. Instead, he doubled down. He leaked false numbers to the press, claiming Black Adam actually turned a $72 million profit thanks to streaming and extra sales. He even shared a Deadline article defending it, writing, "Some mocked us, but they're wrong. Black Adam is profitable, but then boom, the Hollywood Reporter exposed the truth. The numbers were fake. It was a financial disaster." One fan summed it up perfectly. After 25 years, we finally know what The Rock's cooking. Cooked books. Ouch, that one stung. Fans didn't just see a box office flop, they saw arrogance, a refusal to take accountability, a willingness to lie just to protect his brand. Memes comparing him to a bad accountant went viral. The box office king was suddenly nothing more than a fading star clinging desperately to his throne. And if that wasn't humiliating enough, his so-called principles took another blow in 2022 when he jumped into the Joe Rogan controversy. Rogan was under fire for using racial slurs in old clips. The Rock chimed in praising Rogan. "Awesome job, brother. Looking forward to your show and some tequila." But as backlash grew, fans called him out. "Rock, you're an idol. But defending a man who laughed while using slurs? Terrible." Suddenly, The Rock backpedaled fast. He apologized, claiming he didn't know the full story. That flip-flop didn't go unnoticed. Fans saw weakness, no backbone, just another empty apology to save face. It happened again during his podcast with Rogan. Instead of opening up or taking risks, The Rock dominated the conversation, asking 100 safe questions, dodging controversy, and leaving fans bored. People mocked him online. The Rock is like a human ChatGPT, safe, bland, opinionless. By 2023, when Maui wildfires devastated communities, The Rock teamed up with Oprah to launch a fundraiser. They both donated $5 million each, then asked the public, many struggling financially, to chip in. The backlash was instant. People slammed him for asking everyday folks to donate when he's worth $800 million. And once again, he posted another apology video. "I hear you, I understand. I'll do better." But by then, the damage was done. Fans weren't buying it. One viral comment summed it up. "The math ain't mathing." He could donate $50 million and still earn it back in a year. Instead of staying behind the scenes, The Rock shoved himself straight into the main event storyline of WrestleMania 40. And who did he face? Roman Reigns, the reigning WWE champion for 3 years. Sounds epic, right? Except there was one big problem. Cody Rhodes. Cody had won the Royal Rumble. He was supposed to face Reigns. Fans were invested in his emotional journey, his struggle, his rightful place in the spotlight. But out of nowhere, Cody stepped aside. Suddenly, The Rock was in his spot. Fans didn't buy the decision. They saw exactly what happened. The Rock had pulled strings from the boardroom to the ring. The backlash was instant and brutal. The promotional video for The Rock vs. Reigns showdown racked up over 700,000 dislikes on YouTube, becoming the most hated WrestleMania promo in history. Think about that. The Rock, once adored by millions, now had fans openly booing him, digitally torching his so-called epic return. Hashtags exploded across social media. Hashtag Cody deserves better. Fans were furious. One viral comment summed up the mood. The Rock was our idol, but now he's hijacking WWE for his ego. And it wasn't just fans. WWE wrestlers, people who once idolized him, spoke out. Seth Rollins publicly criticized The Rock, calling his actions disrespectful. Behind the scenes, insiders whispered that his interference had disrupted WWE's creative plans, causing chaos and resentment in the locker room. It was a disaster. WWE was forced to rewrite storylines. By April, they brought Cody Rhodes back, giving him the victory over Roman Reigns fans had been waiting for. The Rock, meanwhile, claimed his interference was all part of a bigger plan to create drama. But nobody was buying it. Fans scoffed. Bigger plan? More like a plan to lose fans. And maybe that's the saddest part of all. Because right now, he's trapped in his own shadow. A living billboard, a hollow echo of the man fans once adored. And until he sheds that mask, the only thing The Rock will keep cooking is disappointment.